Hello, good evening and happy new year to everybody. Pinch Punch first of the month has been done and New Year's Eve last night. How are we all and how do we feel with another number on the end of the year? Let's just get my cameras all set up and here we go. So I hope I'm all in the right places. It looks like it's telling me I seem to be in the right place. Let's just tap on that one and that one. That's fine. Okay, so tonight you are probably all with family or cozied up in front of the telly. Not expecting me on a bank holiday, but hey, it's Sunday, so I'm here. So I'm going to get you down onto the table and I'm going to share another celebration. Let me just get that over to you. There you go. So celebration is a few days away. It's on the 5th. This will go live. The same as the spring summer. You've seen me show you these a few times. This one's getting quite dog-eared now. So we're not allowed to show you the insides until they physically go live to the public, general public. So celebration, I am going to use something out of here. Or in fact, two sets out of here. Okay, they are free products, so I do like to share the free products with you. So this one, I don't think I've shown this before. I haven't. I'll take that out of the plastic. It wasn't in my little bank of images, so I don't think I had. If I take these away and get you some whole sheets, that might make it a little bit easier for you. So if I take those away as well, I think I've got enough in here. So I hope somebody comes on just so I know that I am in the right place. And not broadcasting in the group that we did on Saturday. So Friday. So this is one of these. This set is called Dainty Flowers. It's a 12 by 12 celebration set, and it's free with a minimum purchase, which here in the UK is £45. So these, they are very delicate, they are very dainty. There is a stamp set that's going to come along with it. So I'm going to go through these and just show you the patterns first. So this is the first one, the nice sort of country wild meadow type effects. So lovely, beautiful on the back there, and that's all detailed images in the same sort of ilk, these sort of prints. So that's one. This I love this one. I've pulled out Rich Raspberry as one of the colours tonight. It's going to be a bit difficult if I don't get people joining me because I'm just going to have to make my own decisions. Today is going to be about this or that. So hopefully some people will come through. So this is a beautiful Rich Raz, and then we've got Starry Sky on the back. And then we've got the greenery, the ferns, and then the fresh freesia on the back. These ones we have here, I've not used any of those ones yet. We have these, got beautiful frames. Now I can see this being cut through here and then cut through here. So you've got some nice borders, and then you've got 6 of these panels to play with. So there's actually eight panels on here, and you get 2 of those, and the back on here is just all these lovely splatters. Beautiful. Okay, so I'll pop those away as well. And then this one, remembered running this through, it might have been on Friday. This one I see coming through here being cut 6 inches and then into 6 panels like this. So nice quick cards, beautiful designs, and look at those colours, they're just so beautiful. And then the greenery on the back, that's lovely. And then this one, the first one I showed you, this is a sheet I was going to use tonight. It's a smaller version of this, but in different wild flowers. So they are very similar. Hi Rose, nice to see you. I was hoping someone was going to come on. It might be you doing the this or that for me. So these are the smaller patterns, these are the bigger patterns. They both have their place, they are gorgeous. So on the back of this one we had the pink earlier, and then this one we have the yes, we have these designs. I thought I'd shown that one already. Have I? Have I already done that one? Oh look at this, we've got 2 that are very similar but they're not the same. That's why I was getting confused. This one's got blue splatters, a big piece of Rich Raspberry in there, and raspberry splatters. Very close, aren't they? So there's 2 of those, and that's it. That's all our 6 pages. So Rose, as you're the first one on here, I need you to decide. I'm going to use this paper, and my first decisions are, would you like the base colour to be as this or that? This one, the Rich Raspberry, or the Mossy Meadow? And Angela, you're on there. Oh, please agree. we're going to have the colours. It's a this or that night. So we're going to have rich raspberry or we're going to have mossy meadow. If I have time, I'm going to do both. What I am going to do is take out, you know, I mentioned previously in the back of my packs, I keep, when I cut a card in half, I put the other one in the back here. So you want the this, so that's the rich raspberry rose. Okay, that's good because I haven't got a card, that's not a full size card. So I will use that now. If we get time, I will do the other one. Okay, so we will see how this goes. So the next thing is, would you like, so as Rose guessed on that one, Angela, would you like portrait this way or would you like landscape this way? Okay, another decision. Whoops, I'm just going to try and bring you in a bit closer. You seem to be miles away. Okay, it makes a difference. This. So it was the portrait first, wasn't it? No, this was for the colour. Angela, just if you're still there, just portrait or landscape. Okay, I need that decision. Okie doke. I'll wait for you to come through because I've got to, depends on which way I cut my paper. In fact, what I can be doing then, I'm going to be cutting, just for now, I'll be cutting one of both. Landscape. Look, and I've got in landscape. Well done. Okay, so we're going to go the whole width of the card. So landscape will be this way on. So I'm going to do this at the 14.85 and we're going to run the whole length. Okay, I can do that one away. And this, what I want to show you is I've scribbled out, in typical Sandra fashion, I have scribbled out some little bits on here. Okay, that is my designing for tonight. So I'm going to use an amount that I want in here. What can I have? I think I want just a strip. I think 5 centimeters might be good. We've got some nice colours in there. Or shall I'll probably use that side. Some stronger colour in the middle there. I'm going to lump it in at 5 centimeters, which I think for the Imperial ladies, I think is about 2 inches. Oh yes, 2 on there. So there is our start of our card. Okay, it's the same width all the way across. They are beautiful and they do pick these colours out really nicely. Okay, so that's the landscape and that is the colour chosen. So the next thing is, because we've gone that way, I'm actually going to have a little tiny strip of this colour. So I've picked these out that they go together. So I'm going to use a little topper at the top and bottom of this. That is edge isn't straight, so let's just go on there. Okay, so I'll chop that piece off there. And I'm going to revert over to my little tiny trimmer, because what I'm going to do, I'm using a little scrap here that was, you saw it out of my packet. So I'm going to cut this just roughly down the middle. It really doesn't matter. It just needs to have a little bit either side. And I'll show you for white. There we go. Oh, a little bit deeper than that, I think. So just holding my breath. One of the measurements I use on here is the screws. You might have heard me say this before. So if I want something, I don't want it as high as into the ridge here, I go to the edge of the screw heads. Cut that down like so. So get those out of the way and let's just start onto here. So I'm going to get some Tombow and I'm going to lay this in that. If I use the grey mat, you'll be able to see a little bit easier. It's not quite so dark as the black. So let's get the Tombow activated. I'm just going to put a little tiny bead along there. Hopefully you can see that. You can see the beginning anyway. So now what I'm going to do is lay this on top and I'm going to leave myself a tiny little border up here. You can, with Tombow, you've got your wiggle room. So you can eyeball to make sure that's about the same all the way down. Okay, so that's one end. Turn it around the other way and do exactly the same. Okay, it's the easiest way than putting it in midair and trying to juggle with it. So I'm going to leave the same size as this, the other end. Okay, great way for using up scraps. I do love my scraps. I have actually written in my planner that I want to do some different designs with scraps. So watch this space. Okay, so on here, okay, that's going to take up a nice little chunk of my card. So I'm going to just hold that on there for now, because what I was going to use was my owls. So I wanted to have the two things from Celebration. So one is the Designer Series paper, okay, and the other is the owls. I'll pop that to one side for a moment. Got my black ink here, Memento. I have an ink block sitting under here. Just find my stamp set that was staring me in the face. There we go. So these are the stamp sets. If you have, I'm sure you two have both been on here with me. These stamps are adorable. They are another celebration item. Okay, so I'm going to pick a design out of here. I'm going to go for this one just sitting down, I think. I don't want the flyaway one today. So I'm just going to colour him in. I'll pop him on my block. There we go. And we'll get some Memento ink. This is getting to the point it needs a little bit of a re-ink. So I'm just going to tap this on here. I'm going to stroke it over the top and tap it gently. You've got more pressure doing it this way. Normally with a smaller image, I would be inclined to go on the ink pad here. Okay, just bring that down so you can see it. I would go this way, but because if the ink is running out, you want more pressure, you can actually press firmer on here. But don't do it in your hands and do it like this because you'll get it all around the edges. So that's that one for now. Let me just plonk that on there. Okay. There we go. Is a lovely little fella. Okie doke. So that's that one. I'm going to just cut this one out roughly. Okay, if I cut a strip, and then there'll be enough for another one on there. Okay, so while I've got those out, I'm going to ink up another one. In fact, I've got one stamped already, so I will leave that because he will be nice and dry already. So I was playing with these at the weekend, and I had my tub of my blends here. So I've got a selection. I am going to fussy cut this little fella, and I've got my machine. I'm going to die cut a circle, and it's going to be mounted into one of the circles. Now these are another of my favourites. These are the Stylish Shapes dies. Hi Sandra, nice of you to join us. The circles in here are really nice for matting and layering. So I kind of like to check as to which size is going to be best for him to sit on, and what size is going to look good on my card here. So sometimes it's good to have this, I like it on the lower third, and sometimes it's nice to have a big circle, but then this one would be inside of him, like so. So I could have the outer and the inner, and I think he will fit in there, won't he? Just checking that I haven't cut that too small. I have. So they will be the best sizes. So I'm just going to quickly stamp him again on a bigger piece. Didn't think of that, did I? Bring out my stamp and my ink. It won't take long. There we go. I should have had that pre-cut before I came on. So bring him away from the corner a little bit. Okay. There we go. And he won't go to waste. He'll go in my little pot there. I've got a greeting now I might actually be able to use. Excuse me. So let's go with this one now, shall we? So we're going to place him over the top. And when I say we need to just rough cut him, we'll rough cut him around the die. Then we won't mess up again. Okie doke. So I have here my little mini cut and emboss machine. And I'm going to place him on there. I'm just stopping to think actually. I'm going to fussy cut him. Shall I, shan't I? Because I've still got the other little image. I was going to cut a circle. Let's just do this again. My circle was going to be this way. So I'm going to cut him out as a white piece on its own. So let's try and plan that one again. Okay. It's nice when you can just chop and change. So there we go, that's what my plan was. And then we're going to cut this one, because it's going to be the outer layer, and I've got a little accent on this one. I'm going to bring this one, the Mossy Meadow, to bring the accent on here as well. So pop that one out. Okay, and pop him away. And then we'll get a piece of Mossy Meadow and do our second layer. There we go. So Mossy Meadow the same way. Leave enough just to trim around the edges. And you'll notice the mini cut and emboss machine is so good for being online when you're doing lives like this. It's much better than getting the big machine out, because it just takes up the whole camera. My plates are very, very worn, but they are still going strong, so I'm not going to change them just yet. This is perfectly normal. If you get this on your plates, they sometimes will start to bulge, and it's no longer straight along the edge, it's bulging out because it's been used so much. Okay, the track on here, if you aren't aware, the track on here is much wider than the actual track in here. So you've got a good leeway in here. You can see where my finger is, there's a good leeway in there. So the fact that this is bulging slightly, it isn't a problem because you've got that leeway in the middle. Okay, just a little hint, keep using it. It might crack, but keep using it until it finally gives up totally. Okay, so this is kind of like building up where I want it to be. I want it in the lower third. I want it there. I want this one. I'm going to put some dimensionals on there. And once we've coloured him in, he's actually going to be sitting on here as well. And then we'll pop our greeting on. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. I'm going to give him some balmy blue eyes. So I'm just going to colour in on the actual, this piece here, the inner piece. I'm using this finer side here. Okay, the smaller end of the blends. We had an event on, where are we? Days of the week. On Friday and Saturday, a global group that I'm in. And we're doing this every 2 months. So I'm going to leave that in the corner there so you can see where we're heading. And we're doing it every 2 months. And for customers and my team and customers, they actually get free access to go in there, and actually it's in a separate group. So I'm conscious that we'll put the post up on our pages, but when it's in there, it is designated just for customers who actually purchase from us. So unfortunately, other demos don't get a chance to get in there. It's just to be fair to if otherwise we would have everybody, the group would be so big. And it's a privilege for customers to be able to join us. So just to go over what I did on Friday, I actually had the owls out. So I've now coloured his face in and his body in here using this is pale papaya or ivory. They are the colours I use, and you can literally, I'll make this one slightly darker actually. I'll use the pale ivory. This is the ivory one. I'm going to go over with the ivory. You can layer up your blend. I'm going to come in, sorry. That's better while I'm colouring. Sorry about that. So you can layer up your blends. So you will change the colour as you go. But I can layer these two up on top of each other. You can do two layers of the same thing, and that will change. I'm going to try and demonstrate that to you with the colours I'm using. Okay. There is no right or wrong in nature. You can, you've got artistic license to use whatever you would like. And there's no wrong colours. Okay, so that's that one. So I'm now going to go back and use a single layer of this one, just on the inner eyelid, on the inner eye here. We don't, just paler. Okay, so these have had 2 layers on them. And the eyes are done. Now the next one I'm going to do his bow tie. I'm going to use the this one in here, the balmy blue again. So at a risk of repeating myself from Friday with using the blends, you'll notice that on this one, this is balmy blue and it's light. So if I colour with this one, that's the colour I get. Okay, you can just see that on the camera, I hope. Hi there, I think it's Karen, isn't it? Tilly Crafts. Then I'm using the narrow end, and this is the same, the other end. Now these shades are exactly the same, but what you get, I'm going to bring that up to the camera. What you find is you will get so that you use one end of the blends more than the other. So you can see clearly that I've used the wider end is paler, and the lighter end is stronger. Okay, so this end is the end that I've been using more. So they still work, but go back to when I said about you can layer up your blends. I can put on top of that light one now. I can now go over with another light colour. Okay, same pen, same end, and you can bring those up, and that will bring that darker. So now if I do this up in midair, I can go over it again, and it's bringing it darker. So it started off as that colour. Okay, so by doing 3 layers, it's bringing up that darkness, and if I go again, we'll go darker still. So can you see? Don't throw them away just because they look like they are paler than what they should be. Okay, that was the purpose of that little exercise. You know me, I pass on lots of gems when I can. So what shall I go for next? I'm going to go for, I've got pale papaya in there. I think I'll use that one. So I'm going to do his little feet, okay, in here. Happy New Year to you too, my dear. So I'm just colouring these in. I didn't want the pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie is a little bit on the brighter side. So I'm going to colour in his feet, and then I'm going to colour in his beak. Okay, so you can just see that there. And again, you can layer up those colours if you wanted more. And then I'm going to go for, let's try this on the side actually. On a light crumb cake. Crumb cake I need to replace because it's getting a little bit on the worn side. It's a little bit old. Yeah, I might do those ones. I think I'm going to go for that one. I had in my pot here, I have grey granite. I love grey granite. That's another lovely shade. So if I just show you one of those, and you can see how dark you like it. This is going to the browns. This is going to the grey. In fact, I'm going to change my mind. Prerogative, I'm allowed to. I'm actually going to use the grey granite. The reason being, I think it will go better with these papers rather than the sandier colour, the lighter colour. Okay, so I've got the light and the dark there. I forget which one I used. Yeah, this again, the nib's starting to go on this one. I think I'm going to go around the edges with the dark. If you use the fine end, you can accent your edges just slightly where a shadow might be, just to get a little bit of detail in there. Okay, and then you can blend it out with the lighter end. So I just colour that just in slightly round the body, just accent some edges. And so, and then blend it out with the lighter colour. Okay, so I'm just going to circular motions. Okay. And blend these darker lines out. Okay, they are very similar colours, and as I said before, you've probably heard me already, the ladies who are on here, that when you blend out with your blender pens, you won't get the kid, you know when kids colour with a marker pen, you get lines. This will actually blend it out. And don't be afraid to keep chopping between your light and your dark, the bigger brush. Okay, and you'll mix your colours and you'll get rid of all of those lines. Where these lines are here, I can shade that out. The nib is starting to go slightly. I have several that I need to replace during Celebration. We remind you, Celebration, with a minimum purchase from the 5th of January, which is this week, you will be able to have this stamp set for free. Okay, so there's a lot to be, the papers or the owl. And if you spend £90, you can have one of each. And some of my customers like to do, say, £45 in January, and then come back and do another £45 in February, so you can spread the cost over. Okay. So, how do we like him? He's looking a little bit suntan to me. He's looking a bit orange. So I'm going to go over with that. That was my ivory, wasn't it? Try and go over with one that's running out. I need it to be a bit paler. A light crumb cake. Yeah, I think that will do the trick. This is the light crumb cake and it is a little bit worn. I just want to dull that down a little bit. He looks a little bit too orangey. Okay, there he goes. That's a better colour, isn't it? So I'm layering up on top of the other. So there's actually 3 colours gone down here. You can shade those in as you like. Okay, so that can all go back in my tin. And then my fussy cutting. Now, then you get rid of all the excess on here first. Not because of the colours, just to get the excess weight and bulk that you really don't need. And then you're left with your piece to fussy cut. Okay, so I'm going to come in here randomly, and I do try and feather out the edges. So I'm just going to quickly whisk around here. I think you can see me, can't you? Being in closer with the camera, you can't see my head in the way. Okay. If any of my customers are watching that were here on Friday, you will see some of these techniques again. But the this or that, I've got an idea to do a few of these this or that. Getting up close with my glasses on now, I can see there's some areas on here I've missed. So I'm going to show you just somewhere at the end. When you fussy cut, you're left with these little white pieces where your card has been. Okay, so it's quite handy to know how to overcome that. So I've got a couple of ideas for you. Those of you who are on here at the moment, I don't think you were with me the other day, so I know people will be watching on replay. So there we go. I'm just coming around those edges. I'm trying to do it quite fast, just because. And my wood burner has been lit most of the day today, and I'm just sitting here in a jumper and I'm starting to roast. I won't be putting any more logs on tonight. Okay, so we're whizzing around here quickly. Hi Jane, nice to see you. Hope you had a good Christmas and New Year. Hope the bugs stayed away. I know lots of people who are poorly. It's not a very good start to the year, starting off poorly. I got mine out of the way before Christmas. So just whizzing around his feet. Can't chop his toes off, can I? Comes in there and come around there, and there we go, we're off. Okay, so now with those pieces that have chop that over. Put on a piece of white card so you can see not the whiteness necessarily, but I want you to be able to see the fact that these edges, take that away actually, I'm going to use some blends and I don't want them on my mat. Can you see, particularly in this corner, there's some little pieces of white, and around the top here, the edge, you've got some white pieces. So what I do with those is I'm going to show you 2 different ways. This is a black marker, just a standard black marker, which is our Stampin' Write markers with the water-based markers. Okay, so I'm going to take a given point. I'm going to go from the point of his ear here, and I'm just taking this pen just neatly around the edge. Okay, it sounds daft, but because I've stamped it in black, okay, what I'm doing is just wiping over those edges, and I'm taking away that whiteness on the edge. It just, because once you fussy cut, it just doesn't look so good. Okay, and in here I'm just going to go in a little bit more on those corners. Okay, and just covering that white. So I'm just using the side of the brush really, just to, I'm not drawing around it, I'm just stroking it around the edges. Okay, and that will give your finished image a whole different look. Okay, so just coming along there. It's probably easier to see up close and personal rather than on a camera. Oh, you were there, Rose. Sorry, I didn't realise you were there on Friday. Yeah, the fact that you can just draw around those edges, it does really help. It just takes it takes a whole different look. It really does. So if you can see this on here, I'm just going to take that through. So you've got the white edge on there, and you're literally just taking that round. Okay, and then I come back. I think I was under his ear when I started. There we go. Just catch those pieces. And he's got no white pieces around there apart from this little piece, which is where I missed with the grey granite. So I'm just going to touch him up, grab that pen again, and just redo his little wing there. There you go. And we're done. Okay, he is lovely. I love this set. Like I say, it is a freebie. I don't need the white piece of paper now. So this piece on here, we're going to go with our background here, Tombow. I'm going to place this one down flat. So this is a little bit thicker on the card piece than it is on the designer series paper. Just make sure that's all stuck nicely. And if you go back to your grid paper or your mats, if you've got a mat like mine, you can lay that on there, and you can find a given point. So I'm going to lay it up on the lines so that when you go across, you can line it up left to right and make sure it's perfectly aligned. Okay, on the top of the white line, and there we go. Okay, I've just got a paper towel in here or tissue just to get some of that glue there. I've just got a little bit close to the edge. There we go, and he's down. So these two layers are going to be put together. That one's going to go down flat. This one's going to go 3D, and I think that one can go 3D. Okay, on there. There's no real texture in that stamp set, so I've got nothing else here with me I can use. What I was going to do was the embossing folder on the background here. I just wanted to set him away from the actual card. So we're going to put him some foam pads on here. Okay, I'll put these on here. For a simple card, it's taken a bit longer than I thought it would, look. So we've got those 3 issues on there, those 3 dimensionals. The Stampin' Blends do bleed through the back of your card. Okay, so you've got that colour through there, so just be careful, which is why I was using a piece of paper to lean on there. Okay, so he can be sat in the middle of my circle. Okay, I want him to be flat onto the card, so I can do that one now. From top to bottom, so he's going to go there. Okay. And then that one, I can do double dimensionals on there. I'm going to do 2 lots on here. So one in that corner, one there. The rule of 3s I tend to apply to dimensionals as well, unless it's a big image. So that's going to go in the centre there, like so. Now, greeting on here, we can offset him. We can have, where did I find the little one earlier? This one. Stamp set has flown away. There he is. So on the stamp set, we are limited on greetings a little bit on this one. We've got Hoot Hoot, You're So Cute. We have It's Your Day or My Friend. Okay, so the stamp set that I'm using, the dies that I was using earlier in here, we actually have some lovely little banners, and this one under here, if I slide him out, will fit lovely for that greeting. So this one will go Hoot 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 would go through there, or It's Your Day or My Friend. I think My Friend's going to be good today. Okay, so I'll grab a long block and that scrap of card I had earlier. Okay, I don't need to have the mat underneath me because it is a rubber stamp, so I only need that for the polymer. So for this little greeting, on there, press down. Okay, while I'm here, because of the size of the piece of card, I'm going to do a second one and then put that in my pot. Then I've got one for next time. And it's a good idea to do that when you're stamping. If you've got everything out for a purpose and you've got a piece of card left over like this, use it. Don't just put a smaller scrap back in. And then I keep those extras in my stamp set. So it's quite handy to then when you need to have a greeting, you can actually say, right, I'm going to use, got one ready to go. So take that piece of Scotch tape off the top of my machine, whisk that through. And take that out. Time has run away with me and I won't have time to do the other one. So I will make that up tomorrow. I'll pop that in there for now. There is my friend. Okay, now he could be coming off the edge there. We can decide we could put him on the edge of the border. Okay, just move that. You've never known about that idea, Jane. I'm just catching up with the comments. Sorry. And who was Paulie? Oh, you were Paulie, Jane. Oh, bless. Great tip. Just use it's just a Stampin' Write marker. Okay, be careful if you use something else like a Sharpie or something. You won't have fine enough tip, and also it could bleed into your card. So just test it on the edge of scrap first. Okay, so this one I'd kind of like him down there. I like him adjacent here. You could put him up here, and that's silly. So that would be, I'll do one card with him down there, and I like to do one up there. So I think I'm going to stick this one for today. I'm going to stick it on there. But when I do I'll do that. This is this. I will do that one, and I will post that maybe tomorrow. So this end's going to have a little dot of Tombow. This end needs to be supported. So he wants some little mini dimensionals, which I've got here. So that was the one from the other day. So I'll take a couple of these off here. One right on the end, and one sort of 3/4 of the way in. Take those two off in the bin. And then a tiny dot of Tombow this end. Just remember where it's going to fix, basically. And that I can see there's a little bit too much on there. Just dab a little bit off. Then he can sit on there like so. Upwards, downwards. I think he could go there. There we go. Look at him. I think he needs some splatters. I've got a piece of card there, look. I think we need some Wink of Stella just to splatter him. Okay, so we have our Wink of Stella pen. I'm going to squeeze this off camera onto the kitchen roll, the paper towel there. And I'm going to get my Tombow to bash on. Okay, now, new tip that I learnt. Sorry, you're nearly off camera. New tip that I learned, I used to do this way and tap the actual pen, but what I was doing was flicking the actual splatters that went everywhere. So what a tip that I learned was if you do it this way and you hold it down and you can knock this, it will actually be more directional down on the surface where it's going. Okay, this one is coming to the end of its life. Okay, but I can see down here that I've definitely got splatters on there. And I'm using a backing sheet here from the card. So you can have some over the body of him as well. There we go. So put that back on there. Snap that on so it doesn't dry out. And there we have some nice... Can you see that on there? I'm quite close to the camera. Can you see all those sparkles? Just from hitting a Wink of Stella pen. Okay. So I hope you like him. I'm going to take that big bright white piece of paper out of the way. And then show you again down here. There we go. Lovely. What a lovely card. Oh, thanks, Karen. It's lovely. I will do the other combination. I'm going to bring you back to me now. I won't keep you any longer. It's 40 minutes already. Sunday nights I tend to try and keep quicker. The Wednesdays tend to be my longer ones. Okay, so that's my card for this evening. Like I say, there's different combinations. You can choose this or that. You've chosen the things I'm going to use yourselves. Okay, so hope you like that. Of course, just to show you how that could look now, with that... Oh, let me bring you back down, sorry. That might help. Bring you out again. Okay, just by turning that round, it's another combination, because this was one combination. Okay, that's not what I was going to do on the other alternative. I was going to go across here, but by doing it this way, if you turn that image round, you could have that strip over here and the owl to the side here, and you can just do different layouts with exactly the same thing. You've always done it the other way. Yes, Rose, probably because I've always done it the other way as well. Just bash it, yes. And then I learned it's more directional. I'm not sure if that was at convention. Somebody was doing a demo on stage. I can't remember, but it's definitely a much better way of doing it. Definitely. Okay, so take that off, bring it back to me, and I will say cheerio. Thanks for joining me tonight. I know there's other people that will be catching up on replay. Take care and see you again